everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, September 30, 2024. A little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call, if all goes well, Wednesday night, a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Inside our mind, there are memories piled upon memories and beliefs within beliefs, all stacked to infinity. For every new thought that is forming right now, there are a dozen new thoughts soon to follow. Just sit down on some lazy Sunday afternoon to spiritually investigate who you really are. You'll find that you can ascend and descend forever within the deepest realms of your very soul. However, what I find most fascinating inside of this infinite mystery is in the relationship that's manifesting between our inner world and the outer universe. It behaves something like a perpetual reflection in a mirror. Whatever is happening within our inner world is attracting, magnetizing, and manifesting what we are experiencing in our outer world. For example, if I'm in a good mood today, all I see are happy, smiling faces wherever I go, and amazing opportunities seem to effortlessly float my way. Then, if I fall down into an emotional dumpster, the face of every being has nothing but gloom and doom smeared all over it. The law of attraction, is unavoidable. Whatever we are feeling and feeding into emotionally on the inside is somehow always materializing into whatever we see, experience, and physically attract in our outer world. Another example of how the infinite reflection is showing up in our lives is how it manifests in our relationships with others. The more love, compassion, acceptance we have for ourselves, the easier it is to have compassion, love, and acceptance for others. Or it's always that one thing which we absolutely dislike and cannot stand about the other, which is reflecting some part inside ourselves that we don't care to own or accept. If you're upset at your neighbor for being too dominating, controlling, aggressive, instead of having compassion with them, then when you take a closer look inside yourself, you will see how you're not okay with those parts of yourself and feel too dominating, controlling, or aggressive. It's all a deep and yet transparent mirror. Because our inner world is an extension of our outer universe, and the outer world is an extension of our inner universe. This means that life extends into infinity in every direction and dimension. Our inner and outer universes are never separate. Even though your physical body appears to be a completely isolated entity, it is not. We live in one sacred ocean of energy. There simply is just one universe that extends for infinity into outer realms in all directions and inner dimensions. You contain the wet and salty qualities of the entire ocean, and yet are just a single drop in it. The oceanic waves are always moving you and flowing through you as you. He who thinks he is the doer is also the sufferer, from Maharishi. Now, the essential problem I find most people are having with life is that they are not reaching deep enough inside themselves to reconnect with their actual living, breathing, infinite spiritual essence. Our spiritual nature is a real thing. It is our most basic reality. It is what keeps your heart beating, your breathing, and your life force moving through you in every moment of existence. You do not have to breathe. Your body does it for you. The same is with your spiritual essence. It is living and creating through your physical body, unfolding its essential karmic programming within this great cosmic playground. It's good to know that suffering happens only when the mind gets in the way. When we become overly focused on thoughts and material things that make us feel limited or time-bound, we start believing we only have limited options. The realm of the infinite fades into the background of the finite. And we start thinking everyone is living in a very small, contracted world. When we only focus on our needs, we forget how to connect with the soul of others. If we are always thinking about money and more material possessions, we cannot see or feel the infinite reality that is beneath it all. A majority of this rat race is trapped in thinking about time-bound appointments, which causes consciousness to squeeze itself into a tiny temporal boxes. We set deadlines. We have deadlines. You might have a supervisor, boss says, I want you to have this done by such and such a time. Let's say by 5:40 or 5:40 p.m. And within this deadline coming, we just don't have time to feel what eternity is like. When we only live in a limited tick-tock 24-hour clock world that is consumed with resources around money and material items, we instantly start feeling disconnected from the infinite eternal beings we actually are. This addictive dwelling of the mind on what is not infinite or eternal is what makes us feel spiritually disconnected from every living being on this planet today. We were all birthed with a limited time-bound physical body so that we could acquire a contrasting perspective and experience ourselves as the infinite eternal being we actually are. We have the capability to create, manifest, and experience anything we desire. We are all the children of a great universal consciousness, or, if you will, God, that is impregnated with unlimited potentiality. If all this talk about the infinite is expanding your mind too much to handle today, just remember that your inner world is always impacting and manifesting something in your outer world. It never isn't. Every thought you believe to be true is what is creating your reality. Your thoughts are always flowing through you and are always creating everything in your life. You will become whatever you think in the future. So be aware of your innermost thoughts and yet somehow remain non-attached. Your thoughts are not who you truly are. You are an eternal, infinite consciousness who is beyond form and time. You are pure awareness reflecting back on itself in this physical universe of space and time. Let go of thoughts that were cycling in your mind yesterday and ideas about the way life should turn out for you tomorrow. Be here now. Now is the moment of power. Now is where enlightenment is discovered. For physically, you are forever forced to exist in this present moment. Your present awareness is always being generated from this present moment. Know this and live and breathe within this knowing. When you want your life to be smoother, fuller, and more in touch with utter bliss, get in touch with your eternal essence. Let go of any limiting thoughts that you have. Drop into the knowingness that you are an infinite soul who will never die. When you crave for some secure life that is easy and light, give that experience to yourself on the inner world within first. Find out how to soothe yourself emotionally, giving deep, robust, tingling sensations to every corner of your body, mind, and spirit. This great experience of divinity is always available and ready to take you into the higher dimensions. The greatest life is ready for you here now. So open yourself up and welcome it in. You will find the infinite within the finite. Trust the process. Breathe it in. And enjoy every breath you are given. There are as many great truths in our universe as there are stars in the sky. And yet, just like the billions of trillions of stars that exist, not all truths are created equal. This universe is not just made of black and white colors. If you were to go out there, way out there, because everything you see, movies, magazines, and everything, mostly, is black and white, isn't it? Black and white. Look at the sky at night, it's black and white. For the most part. There's like an unending wave of colors. There is a vast multidimensional cosmic playground out there and inside you as well. We all live in a highly diverse, intelligent system which contains various degrees of truth. And so not every truth will impact us the exact same way. The bigger a truth is, the more it will expand our reality. And the smaller a truth is, the more it will shrink and contract our experience of life. The positive news is that you don't have to decide what is a big truth and what is a small truth. Your physical body will let you know. For your heart is the best guide for seeing how expansive or contracted a truth actually is. Whenever we discover a larger, more profound truth in this life, a little miracle happens. Everything that felt hard, heavy, and stuck inside us suddenly becomes exalted and liberated. We feel lighter than air and are filled with a natural, spontaneous joy inside which flows as freely as the wind. The mind stops thinking, and we experience our own source of consciousness. From here, we see life from a much more expanded perspective. And it can happen within milliseconds. And I quote this to myself. That I'm going to share with you many times during the course of the day. And it was the first lesson in the Course of Miracles. It simply states that which is real, which is you, the God, the pure consciousness in that body, okay, cannot be threatened. And that which is unreal does not exist. It may take some of us quite a long time to spiritually digest this enormous truth into our minds and root it throughout our lives. But the more you sit with it, the deeper it transforms your entire way of viewing yourself, others in this world. And you really think about this, that which is real cannot be threatened. What is it that feels threatened inside you? What is this personality, this self, ego, or that thing you call you, which defends itself when feeling attacked or provoked? What is this little you who has a need to be on guard and protect itself, trying to assert itself and attempting to achieve something important or worthwhile with their life? And then, who is this overly strong, confident, all-important you who compensates for the super small, unimportant you? It's the one who has been attempting to make your life secure by feeling self-important, accomplished, met and deep embraced by their beloved, and all the while is feeling a deep and constant separation from God. And the good news in all this is that who we truly are has nothing to do with who and what we think we are. Whatever we may think of and conceive of about ourselves with the mind can only be a thought. And this little thought is too small to be who and what we are. Who and what we really are is beyond any spiritual understanding of the mind in this moment. And only this moment we can find what is actually real. And this real thing is the only thing that liberates us and binds us at the same time. That which is real, the real you, never changes. And this essence is what remains the same for all eternity. Perhaps the most pivotal, enlightening truth that you may discover is understanding how all identification with the ego is based in some form of fear. When we are not experiencing a state of oneness, unity, love, connection, relaxation, and bliss, we are hanging out in some quality or version of fear. The ego is clinging to some thought or a process of thoughts which believes deep down that it is not one with the divine. It thinks it is not loved, accepted, embraced, or enlightened. That's crazy. All of us are super spectacular, omnipotently powerful creators. It's what we do. We create every split second, every atom. And the more creative you become, the more godly you become. When your creativity comes to a climax, when each moment of your life is filled with creativity, you live in God. Oh, shit. One of the great definitions of enlightenment is simply realizing again and again and again how to remain non-identified with one's ego. Eh? The enlightened state is a pure seeing, understanding how the ego is the greatest illusion of them all. To intimately know and become identified with the real self, that which cannot be threatened, is the only true path to total freedom there is. All other paths will lead to some form of suffering. It requires no basic standard of ethics, codes of spirituality, or religious background needed to arrive. You simply experience yourself as the essence of consciousness that you naturally are. Now, the ego, who we think we are, does have some truth to it. Yet it's just not a very big truth. It's a smaller truth which only castrates our ability to expand into love, trust, and the feeling of oneness. Ego is a fear-based program that is based in the opposite experience of trust. Whenever we are living in trust 24 hours a day, we start accessing all the wisdom and knowledge known to all the saints, masters, and enlightened beings throughout the ages. We step into the greatest experience of our lives. We find our real true selves and know that we are the real masters of our destiny. You see, remember, we are master creators. We've done it for thousands and billions, millions, trillions of years. We form our own destinies. You know, you've heard many times where, you know, that's your destiny, right? Most people believe that. You know, Alice, this is your destiny. Jim, this is your destiny. Well, we were never taught, right, to comprehend the fact that we are our own destiny. We can shift our destiny. We can shift our futures by being in the now. Nothing, absolutely nothing at all has authority over you. Never did, never will. Now, say, but the ego mind believes, well, this being here has authority over me because, you know, I report to them, or I do this, or I do that, and I follow directions. All of that is ego mind. We have, because, why? Well, if you read the same book over and over again, you're pretty much going to get it, right? It might take a while. You ever picked up a book and read it? Yeah, and you remember some things. But you liked it so much, you read it again, and you find other things. And you read it again, and you find other things. This is like when we create, we experience, right? And we may create something not exactly like it, a little different, and we experience other things. Without the power of us as creators, what do you think would happen? What would happen if we didn't ever create anything? We'd be like a bunch of mud slugs swimming around in mud. When we know our real nature, we can allow this life to play its ego personality role through us and somehow not get in the way. You've probably said this to yourself at times. I'm getting in my own way. I'm going to step aside. This is when we can sit back, go with the flow, and enjoy the ride. Because we all know this is all temporary. We've got, endless lives ahead of us. This is just one small kernel. We can remain fascinated by this life, by life in general, learning how we are here to serve others, take care of our bodies, and simply let the all-intelligent life force move through us. This state of perpetual enjoyment of life is real mastery. When we remain free from all forms of ego identification, we cannot help but to enjoy all aspects of this life. We allow a greater love to always guide our course and help us live with ease and grace in every way. Most of us, I don't know, have you ever met anybody, whether it's a stranger or first contact or someone you've known for years, who you can pick it up. I think we can all pick it up, even though we're in the same playground. But people who take this life so darn serious. You ever come across people like that? What are they showing us? How not to take it so serious. I've often, and some people think that's absolutely crazy, but in your communities and stuff, you might be being serious. You've got a lot on your mind and a lot going on, and you're not noticing anything on your right or left. You're traveling along in your vehicle, right? And you got all this stuff going on, this noise, this just endless thoughts about yesterday and tomorrow and what you're going to do with this and how are you going to do this and everything. Now, if you were to say to yourself, I'm just going to let all this flow through me. I'm not going to grab it and pull it in. I'm just going to let it flow right through me. And you come across a park or something, playground, like a swing set or just a trail or something. You say to yourself, I just like to go sit and be, period. And so you pull off, and you sit, and you be. And the mind chatter starts to vaporize, vanish. And the ego mind that's pushing you into tomorrow and yesterday isn't there. And all you're doing is being, listening to your breath rise and fall. It's a whole different world when we do that. But we've been taught, you're not a kid anymore. You got to take this life seriously. You ever heard that one? What are we going to do as kids? We say, wow, okay, I better start taking life seriously. Or why are you always laughing? Aren't you concerned about any of this? This is some serious stuff. Why don't you try being serious for a change? We're in this little pressure cooker. It's called the rat race. And we're compressed, and we're cold, and we're stretched, and we're, tapped on all the time, and you're being told to do several different directions at once. You're being said to, oh, that's wrong. You're wrong. Okay? I'm right. You're wrong. Okay? We all run around with the ego mind trying to prove to each other that we're right. Okay? That we don't like being wrong, but we're right. The moment you start seeing life as non-serious, a playfulness, all the burden on your heart disappears. All the fear of death, of life, of love, everything disappears. Then one starts living with a very light weight or almost no weight. So weightless, one can fly in the open sky also. You ever felt real light? You know what I mean? Just, you aren't thinking anything, you're just kind of bopping along. It feels great. Enjoy it as much as you can because it may not stay there long. Gaganji made a really good quote. The choicelessness or the choiceless truth of who you are is revealed to be permanently here, permeating everything, not a thing, and not separate from anything. When we look around us, we see separation, right? How we've been taught. But in all truth and synchronicity, we're everything. That's absolute. That's not figuratively, that's literal. But the separation causes us to believe, oh no, that can't be. That's not possible. There's no way that I'm everything and everything is me. Well, then you go back to the golden ocean, and you're the drop holding the essence of that golden ocean. And then when that drop goes in the golden ocean, you become the golden ocean. Everything. All of us gods that make up the one God. All the oceans, all the beach fronts, all the mountains, all the deserts, is what we are. Because we're pure creation. In a sense, we've been taught a certain way, programmed a certain way. We don't comprehend it. Or that we can actually create and manifest anything we choose. If you had something that drove you, that you sat in, let's just say a vehicle that drove you, right? How would you feel, really? Maybe you would say, oh crap, I wanted to go over there. So when we, the gods that we are, the pure consciousness behind the body, behind the ego mind, behind the heart mind, we're the ones that are driving the vehicle. Who's the vehicle? Ego mind, your body, all of that. And the reason that we focus on staying in the now is because for all intents and purposes, it's all we really have or will ever have. Only in the now does everything take place. Only in the now do we manifest and create. If you're in yesterday, and your thoughts are in yesterday, and everything you've already created in yesterday is now past, what are you doing? If you're in the future, excuse me, and you're in this future, and you're saying this and that, and I would like this, and I want this in my future, I want that in my future, I want this in my future, which hasn't happened yet, and the only place that we are the masters and commanders of our future and of our destiny, the only place is the now. No other place. Now there is a divine orchestra, if you will, of spiritual energy and consciousness happening all around us all of the time. We aren't always aware of it because our minds are so distracted and busy with those all too important things of this physical world. It's only when everything stops from some seemingly random event that we are thrown back to our real selves and can see, feel, taste the bigger picture. In a few brief moments, the mind drops its game, and we understand how divinely perfect everything is. I'll join you in meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. Take an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body. Focused on your breath rising and falling. At the core of your being is a quiet, calm energy that is as deep and peaceful as the ocean. When you relax, rest inside. Take time to simply dive beneath the ripples of thought. You are able to glide through your day. Approach consciousness with reverence. Take a deep breath. Relax into the gentle, ever-pervading mystery that is you. The moment you discover true peace with your life exactly as it is showing up for you, you have truly mastered your life. You are not this mind, these thoughts, these emotions, or this body. All these things will one day be gone. You are the soul, an eternal expression of light. Get to know this divine connection inside. Pure consciousness is utterly peaceful, and this is who and what you truly are. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. A little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.